It's all go.
Right, okay. So next up we've got Paul, who's got... Are you going to read from Simon books again?
Oh yeah.
Oh, right, okay.
Oh well, I've got a little surprise for everybody, I think. It's, speaking about life's a lottery.
Yeah.
I'm going to do a bit of bibliomancy. So this is going to be a bit of... you're going to choose what I read, basically. So what I'm going to do is... let's see, that's the last one. Right. Yep. So this is the first one, the Headpoke and Firewedding. Right, so I'm going to close my eyes and point to somebody. Right, you sir. Right, okay. Right, what I want you to do is close your eyes and then just open the book at any page.
Right, okay.
Okay. Okay, thank you very much. And that, right. And as bibliomancy is supposed to be foretelling fortunes and all this kind of stuff, by whatever you pick. It's usually to do with the Bible. So, my books aren't quite the Bible, but I'll see how it goes. Now, this may relate to it, might not, and you can say if you wish after you've heard it, okay. But not. Okay. Now, the one you've picked is called Bad Fortune Defeated. Bad News fears some Bruce in scanty numbers of good fortune, and thinks the hill occupied, so reserves might attack the flank and rear of Bad News while its front is engaged. Directs its attack upon Good Fortune's reserves, feels quite certain if it drives Good Fortune from its position. Overwhelming numbers of Bad News will give it an easy victory on the level ground. Does that have any effect on you at all?
A little bit, maybe.
That's okay. Right, we'll go on to the next one then. Let's see. Right, there you go, Aidan.
What have I got to do?
Yeah, just close your eyes and just open the book at any particular point. Okay. Right. The one you've picked is from the Spermbot Blues, which is like sci-fi poetry, often in dialect, South Yorkshire dialect. But the one you've chosen is called You Had Me. You had me. You don't own me. I shout at my mum and dad. You're all we could afford, son. You're only a teenager. We've all been there. And I wish I was dead. My parents wanted kids, so they bought my mind and body with a builder loan. Baby's integral learning and development responder. Now I'm 18 and can buy stuff myself. My mind is full of adverts for upgrades I can buy that Mum and Dad used to buy for me. For each level of my education, they were charged for advice, and for my knowledge they were charged for my toys, food and clothes. They were charged, now paid in full. I get automatic adverts for work skills downloaded into my mind, for skills I can accept as upload, for new bodies I can upload my mind into, or for every thought in my head an advert. After every thought in my head an advert. Pay extra for advertless content. Now the bank's maturity advisor, with my best interests at heart, advises the dark option, promoted as only the good die young. Sex, drugs, rock and roll, short life. The light option, marriage, kids, promoted as life is all about the love of others. Work and pleasant retirement. I have to choose a life option, or what they call the best of both. Promoted as start wicked, finish loved. Mum says, get used to the adverts in your head. We have them too. Life is unfair. Live with it. And we're going to go for now. Carol.
Yeah.
Okay. Close your eyes.
I just open any page.
Yep. We've got the routine now. Notice I didn't ask you if it related. Yes. Right, okay. Now, Carol, you can choose between left or right, because you've got 2 poems here.
Right.
Right, okay. This is called Delicious Concrete. Delicious concrete, stippled grey, is his floor. Curbstones provide his fireplace. Street lamps hang from his walls. Tarmac covers his kitchen and bedroom. He hates homes full of wood and plants. He loves street furniture. Traffic cones are doorstops. Traffic lights is Christmas decorations. His sinks are metal grates. His bath an old stone horse trough. Right, I think we're going to have to go around again, aren't we?
That's weird, that.
Why?
Because I have 2 poems I'm doing today where I'll mention concrete in them.
Ah! Could be something in that then.
Yeah.
Right, so we don't have to... Right,
Sure.
we can do the next one. So you close your eyes, just pick a page. Right. Now this one. Right. Right. This is in the middle of a longer poem, because this is a series of long poems, and this one is called She's Seen as Unseen, and this is part 9, and it's like short stories in verse. This is part 9 of that. Again, you can pick right or left.
Left.
Left, okay. It all seems to slip after the first bottle. He can't remember. Perhaps Raquel took him upstairs to sleep it off, undressed him, put the covers over, undressed herself and slipped in. He hears wings and his bones crack. He can't breathe. Her thighs either side of his head. Ripples, then waves, then swell. He drowns in her darkness. All right. Okay. Let's go for the next one. Well, you again, Adrian. It's as much a surprise to me as anybody else. Okay, you again got right or left?
Right.
Right, okay. This is called Name Check Me. Please Take Change is a series of poems written about my time as a shop assistant, which I still am, in Heron's Foods in Woolwell, and often features the customers rather than the staff. This is Name Check Me. My first name is on public display. I must be a customer's best mate. Company policy. I'll have a back, Paul. And, sorry Paul, I didn't mean to sound like an arsehole when I asked for another till to be opened. My apologies, Paul. Once only friends could use my Christian name. Okay. And what have we got? Right, you again? Right. Okay, Pot of Souls. I often write books in collaboration with artists, and the one she's picked is that picture there. Anybody can see it clearly?
Yeah.
This is working with a Dutch artist called Marcel Herms, and it's the first one in a...
Adrian hasn't seen it.
What?
The painting.
Oh, I do apologise. Yes. So to the big eye. Right. Okay. Right. And this is part of a twosome. There's Pot of Souls with Marcel Herms, and then I've got another one coming out called Skyfish, which is with an Iranian artist, Alas, and she does very colourful stuff. So Pot and Souls is the dark bit, and Skyfish is the light bit. So the bit the one you've chosen is called Turn On Thee. Some folk are dogs. Slightest that does, they're liable to turn on thee. Even when they just play, roll them on their back and tickle, their teeth are out. They might not mean it, but soon their forearms are bloody stump, and they wishes they were behind bars or muzzled. Yon were like that. Like she's all peaceful, like laid there, but one time she's all pleasant as pie. Next she bites chunks out of thee and asks, have I hurt you? What kind of question's that? No, lass, that's just bitten off my arm and clobbed me with the soggy end.
Sorry.
Okay. What I'm doing, love, is I'm doing a bit of magic.
Oh, lovely.
Okay? Yeah, it's called bibliomancy in the jargon. Yep. Because and it's people like yourself in the audience that choose what I read. Okay?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'll let you get suited first.
I just want to try this light. If it gets in your eyes, I'll switch it off, okay?
That's okay, no problem.
It's not making a huge...
And as I was explaining to these other folk, bibliomancy is like, usually use the Bible and all that kind of stuff to like pick a passage and see how it relates. Well, I've taken the poetry books and I've chosen people by random and given them a book. Then they've opened it with their eyes closed and handed me the book, and then I've read out what they've said.
All right.
And if it relates, then they can say something about it.
Okay.
We've had one or two that have.
Oh, that's lovely. Well, divine providence, that's what it is.
Exactly. Yes, yes. And whatever I read is in your hands. So now you're rested. If you'd like to close
you want
your
me
eyes,
to open the book?
yeah, and pick a page. It's going to be as much a surprise to me as it is to you. Okay. Right. Okay, this is from Stubborn Sod, which is the second in a series called A Pagan's Year. And this is the first one, and this is the second. The third one is in the process of being done at the moment. I've already written the poems for it, and Marcel Herms, who's done this one with me as well, the Dutch artist, is collaborating with the third one. And that's going to make his... what I've encouraged him to do is to do like a William Blake poem, because William Blake often wrote poems and then did illustrations around the edges. So I've asked myself to do the same for the third one, and this is the second one, and they cover a particular part of the year. So this covers January to May. And the one you've chosen is called Oak Song. And they're all along pagan ideas and about the relationship with trees and woods and all that kind of stuff. See how it relates, or if it does relate to anything that you're thinking of.
As strong as an oak.
Could be. How can you be in two places at once? I asked. The Christian friend replied, you can have one foot inside the door and the other foot outside. You could be forever on the threshold, neither one nor the other, or both. A fence sitter, neither summer or winter, God or man. Would you sacrifice the other to be wholly another? To step in and close the door, shut out the weather from the other side? Are you coming in or what? You're letting in the right breeze. Put wood in toil. Decide whether you're in or out. I watch the traffic lights, consider a walkway, this way, or a green man allows me to avoid bloodied bone, my mouth and ears, thresholds and doors, full of oak limbs and leaves, reborn I stretch down to deep, dark, moist. I stretch up to cloud light, bark skin, palm touched, I let others breathe, shelter and endure. Moors were once forests, national parks heavy industrial, this oak headland a pit site. Lads snap off live limbs, anarchic coppicing, black dog shipbags sway on limbs left alone. Don't visit in a storm, oaks are lightning trees, people can be oaks, oak grows of druids. Duer means a door, exit and entrance. Raw open wounds of sacrifice still bleed sap. This hand has moulded a garden out of wildlife, words out of nonsense. She used to say, when one door closes, another opens.
I like the last line, and also I like the idea of in the roots, but looking up at the sky, the blue sky, you know, and I like the idea of two worlds, inside and outside.
Yeah.
Outside, like outside me, but inside me as well.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much. That's, right, okay. How long have I got left?
Yeah, you've got time for a couple more poems.
Okay, no problem. Right, so what we'll do is we'll start at the beginning again. So I'm going to start with this one. Start with the first one. And let's see who we can choose this time. Carol. Okay, you close your eyes and pick one. Thank you. Right. Okay, well, this Headpoke and the Firewedding covers June and July, so the other two books revolve around it. So you've got the first bit of the year with that one, and you've got the end bit of the year with the new one that's coming out next year, probably. Right, so what you picked is one called Gust Mind, Breeze Brides and Gale Wives.
Can you say that again, please? What was it?
Gust Mind, Breeze Brides, Gale Wives, which is all about the wind, the air, and all that kind of stuff. Gust Mind, synaptic breezes, neuron vacuoles, sacred gust, gale brain, blows in my head. Breeze brain pressures my ideas. Cross gust brain plays the fey, electric vacuoles move earth inside my head. Gust skin, neural net circumnavigates, damage fruited hemispheres, replenish, restore, reimagine, wafts electric roots, touches in my head. Breathe in my head, she breathed, her flaps of the whisper, bride of the gust skin, her inner lips of the breeze, clouds and rainbows, fermented honey drip. Not cirrus, laced stained glass, fap hinge, lamina blown make out, fragile wisps into lust, nympha, tongue kindly these guardians. Stags, the dead one, the unconscious one, thunder in the ear, thriving slumber. Stags who reach up to bite at leaves of my wood mind as gusts tear at clouds. When her warm words whisper her perfume in your ear, tentative, just beyond, drags on your sleeve. That light in her eyes draws you towards, holds you by the collar, heaves heaviness onward, jerks your lapel, lugs what is left in your pockets, rags your settled head, strains out your ears, swirls heat around your collar, tows out your thought, tugs trepidation, tractions flesh into fire, wrenches out the forgot, yanks back to sharp edges, a gust in the head.
Again, I'm not doing it today and I haven't got it with me to read, but I have a poem called The Blind Wind. And it's about how through the centuries wind has shaped what happens on the land, the air through that. I think I use it, it's an ethereal thing, the wind. And then I go out the warm breeze and the cold breeze, how it changes. But it's called the blind wind because it doesn't see anything, it just shapes.
It does. Yes, I agree.
There's
a superb book by Lyle Watson called Heaven's Breath, which is about the wind and what it does and its mysteries.
Yeah.
It's well worth reading.
The wind is just amazing, of all the elements.
Yeah.
I must have done about 3 or maybe more, 4 poems about the wind in different aspects.
I wrote The Blind Wind after a holiday in Aludonese. and the mountains go right down to the sea, and the wind is that place, because they jump off the mountains, is famous for the parasailing.
All right.
And the experts practice. It's like watching a ballet in the sky when there's 30 or 40 of them up in the sky, and you are sat by the pool looking down the sea. It's an amazing place, Alwoodon is.
It's like watching the murmuration of paragliders, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, how they shift and change shape in the sky and everything. Yeah.
Yeah.
And there is a legend, Greek one, about how the winds were all contained in a cave, and a chap came along and released them by just tapping away at the rock, and then they escaped all around the world. And people are forever trying to trap them.
I brought my book with me, the red line when I
It's okay. No
I
problem.
can't remember it from memory.
No, I can't do that with mine either. It's, okay.
There's a book entitled Do Not Pick These Blossoms, But the Wind Cannot Read. And it's about a soldier, I think, who's in love with a Japanese girl. And you're not supposed to touch them, you know.
Yeah.
And it was...
Keep your
no,
distance.
it's just come to me. Must be 50 years since I read it.
Well, that's good to come to mind. I have a preference. I don't like the word wind because of its other associations, but I prefer the word gust rather than the word wind. I think it's because being a Yorkshireman, I suppose, I prefer something a bit more down to earth rather than wind, which sounds a bit flighty.
Feminine.
Sorry?
Feminine.
Well, oh no.
Wind
no,
is
no,
flighty.
yeah.
It is. It's Mother Earth. It comes from Mother Earth.
Yeah. And I prefer gust because it's more guttural. It's more feels more down to earth.
Yeah. I think you find it in Native American tales, because they believe in Mother Earth.
Yeah.
In Native American tales, and you hear things about the winds and what they bring about the tales. I love folk tales. I adore them. Native American ones are absolutely amazing.
A lot of this first one are composed of this one are like Norse tales.
Yeah.
But what I've done is I've put them into dialect, into Yorkshire dialect. I mean, a lot of Yorkshire dialect is closer to Norse.
English lit GCSEs till 20 years ago, you know, and I started looking at that, and I found it so interesting. And I was fascinated with the Native American history anyway. But then started looking. We mentioned Japanese and other cultures in the Middle East. The native societies in there, they're all very similar. Tales and links between them all.
Yes, yeah, they're quite wonderful. I like. I once took a course in
Celtic as one as well. Theirs
in storytelling, and you have to pick a tale to tell. You have to memorise it first. But yeah, I love the ideas that are involved in that.
Yeah.
But, a lot of my stuff is affected by folk tales and comes from that kind of area. But, I think I better do a last one, and I think we've been going on a bit here.
It's
right.
nice to have discussion though.
Yeah.
It's very nice.
It's actually given me a thought of another book.
See, even when you get a few, that can
Going
be
back to the
really
Americans.
Exactly. Yes. Well,
When
especially
what?
if
even when you've just got a few people, I've noticed that when we have a few people, we always have quite good conversation.
More
Yeah.
interaction.
That's
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
Anyway,
yeah, I mean, a lot of poets go for just presenting themselves and that kind of stuff. But I like audience involvement.
yeah.
Come to me work as a creative writing teacher for WEA. I love the audience involvement. And,
Well, you've definitely got the audience involved.
oh, that's good. Right. The cup of coffee did some good. Okay, right. So going back to a world where, which is full of speculative tales, and it's going to be... Right. What was your first name?
Nigel.
Nigel. Okay, Nigel. Can I close your eyes?
Right, will do.
This will be my last one.
Right, there you
Well, it'll be the penultimate one because I've actually got an ebook which is about neighbours, which I'm going to read from. I'm going to pick an odd one. Oh, the one you picked is called We Wait for Sick Sunblaze Too. And this is like turning things on the head.
Right, okay.
So instead of us seeing light and sun as being fresh and new and all that kind of stuff, it sees darkness as being the good thing rather than light. So we wait for sick sunblaze to go. Too long in the barren teeth of glare, lustre is death. See this wrinkled skin, cancerous blotches, blinded by this sharp, dry lucence. The soft, sodden darkness will give us life, make us young once more. Rub out these wrinkled laugh lines, smile again in the night. Blood unclenches without light, opens night-scented, warm inside thighs, and playful inside fragrant mouths, tastes the sweet life of shadows. Darkness outside reflects the fire dark between your thighs, welcoming wild cave of your mouth. Our tongues play together in the juiced night. What has come into being in us is life, life that is tenebrous. Eyes use what sunless gives. Dark shines in lightness, and lightness cannot overpower it. Aphotic. Listen. Words bear witness to dark, so that everyone might believe through them. Words out of warm, wet, aromatous mouths. Words are not the dark, they bear witness to the dark. Real dark that gives dark to everyone. It is coming into the world.
I need to read that 2 times.
That's okay. This is an e-book. It's not as a published book, but it's called As Folk Over Yonder. And it's only $2.49 on Kobo. So if you want to purchase it, then that's that by all means. But I haven't got any printed copies. It's all about neighbours and small kindnesses that are the important things. So let's have a look. Just get to this. It's got some quite good reviews on Kobo, which I'm quite pleased with. So it's the cheapest of my books, really, $2.49. Right, so sorry about this. What I'm going to do is I'm going to close my eyes and then just flick through it and pick whichever comes up. Okay. Right, okay. Let's come up with one called Her Pink. Her pink lilies remind me of a woman's body, I tell her. She looks offended. One track mind, tut tut, she says and laughs. I apologise and she tips me a wink. You know they're poisonous, I nod. You've got some lily dust on your trousers, come here. And she bends down to dust his upper thigh. Can't take you anywhere. When she rises, her one body in a thin spring dress with its massive pink lip motif presses against him. He inhales her new perfume and fragrant hair and knows it will linger the rest of the day. Wine? She proffers.
Why? Why what?
Wine. Wine.
Oh, wine.
Wine, yes.
What
As
really?
in the drink.
Yeah.
Yes. Thank you.
Thank you.